I was
What?
told
Oh.
900.
900?
Yeah, give or take.
No, I get cheaper.
Yeah, that's a good high number, so that's a safe number.
Yeah. Okay.
Recording fees, we actually kind of skip home warranty. I don't really offer a home warranty with my listings. I haven't for a year. But if you're going to offer the home warranty, it's increased. It's $550 now.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy. That could be a later decision too. But for now, whatever number, what you do for the home warranty, if you are giving it, the company pays half and you pay half. So you're going to write $550 over here, and you write free here. F-R-E-E, so that they know you've done something for nothing. And then for buyer's closing cost assistance, I always just put a series of question marks, because that reminds me to talk about it, because inevitably you do get seller's assistance and they're not going to be familiar with what that is, and I'm not doing that. So I like to set the stage, because most times you're going to have that opportunity. So I put the question marks and say, you know, most buyers these days, depends on the price of the home. On my Penwood listing, no, not so much. But on most others, you know, anything like $250 and below, I think they're going to be asking. So this is your conversation time to talk about that situation and how it works. So you'll explain to them, we don't know what that is. Most people don't have all the closing costs, because now there's not that many people that can get 100% financing, so it's a little more expensive to get into housing. However, banks do allow them to fund, to put the money into their mortgage, but the home has to appraise. So in a sense, they're getting financing for their closing costs, but you as a seller are funding that. And that's when they'll say, I hate that, I don't want to do that. But you want to get them mad then, you know, let's get a little of this, you know, negative stuff out now too, so they understand.
Just a quick question about the closing cost assistance. So I just sold a house, and I'm getting ready to go to closing on it, and the final price was $169.9 with $8,200 closing cost assistance kind of built in. Everything was good on the deal. But the commission that I'll receive at closing is based on the $169.9, not minus the $8,200, correct?
It depends on how it was negotiated. There's times where if somebody asks for a ridiculous amount of closing cost expense like that, and I was the listing agent, I would be telling you that's quite a large number,
right.
And I just want to confirm that you would be willing to just get paid on the net versus why should we get commission because somebody financed their closing costs?
Right.
Most times we get it because nobody argues with it, but on that particular deal, if I were the listing agent, you would have heard that conversation.
Okay.
And you would have accepted it. I accept it.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it ethically, you know, what does that have to do with our handling anything, you know? So it could happen.
Generally, the agent, if it's going to happen, the agent's going to be upfront about it and say, just giving you the heads up,
Yeah.
like this would be based on blah, blah, blah.
So. And good question though. Thank you for that. Great question. For repairs, this is just my time to talk about while, you know, during the home inspection and explain to them. When I present a contract, a lot of what you're doing even during the listing, is really saving you time when you present a contract, because they're already educated and know what they're looking for. So for home repairs, I'll explain, you know, well, when all the inspections take place, the inspections are at the buyer's expense. We would see in the contract what they are requesting, and then they'll write us an addendum or a letter and asking for major defects and things that are safety related. And so I'll just mention that could come up, but for now it's blank. And I love having first and second mortgage listed, because I can tell you there's been way too many times where people go, oh, well, yeah, and then I got a car loan. Like, that's not their mortgage, though. However, when they try to get that deed, there's a little cloud on their title there that says, oh, how's your car running? So people forget. They honestly forget. So it's very important to have that discussion about any second mortgage. For attorney's fees, I say attorneys are very cost effective for you. All we need to do is have the deed prepared, and it's about $200. I do 200, it's usually like 175, but 200 is a safe number. And then for miscellaneous, I put $200. That can be emailing your bank, different, copying fees. So then I add all of them up to the total expenses and subtract it from our price and provide them with their net or their loss, whichever applies. So this part in your presentation, it's not in the binder, at least, so when you're going for your presentation, we told you yesterday what to take on your first appointment. So when you go on your second appointment, so for your second appointment, you're going to be taking your 3-up sheets. You're going to be taking a net sheet. You're going to also take your price trend analysis. I will tell you, I am a master at, there is so much that goes into doing your listing presentation. It is time consuming, but it's so worth it, because when you get there, you have it all, and you have every bit of information that they need to make an informed decision. You're also going to have and this is for you to have, is your member copy of the MLS sheets. You're going to have your phone, as long as it has a calculator. Obviously, you're going to have your doors portfolio. And then, what did you leave during the first visit that we said you're going to leave in your first visit package?
Seller's disclosure.
Yes, ma'am. So and when I say seller's disclosures, I mean lead, radon, any disclosure, the whole deal. So you don't need to bring that, but guess what? You better, because the dog ate the seller's disclosure. You don't really need that. So you really should bring it again. Second copy. The listing agreement. And if your listing is a short sale, make sure you have the addendum form for the short sale for the listing. Now, another thing, because again, we're just the queens of putting this together and trying to make this happen, our pre-listing packet really should also have what's my favorite piece of paper in the state? The CSI form, right?
Oh, yeah.
We should have had that in our pre-listing. However, as I was thinking about it last night, we didn't talk about price. And so that sheet is supposed to be what we do before we show a house or talk to somebody about pricing. And we didn't during the first thing. So my jury's out, but the boss isn't here. So if we need to add that, we can't forget it, is my point.
Right.
Because on the listing agreement, when it says what's included, you're going to be putting the customer information sheet.
Yeah.
So you just have to make sure, and the acknowledgement form. I got done this morning printing out all the MLS sheets, and then I realized I didn't even have the listing agreement. You just get so into it. It's like stuff never ends.
Oh.
So when you go to the second appointment, for me to keep myself organized and clearly define the piles of stuff on my desk, I use yellow folders for my listings and blue folders for my buyers. And it kind of helps me separate my world and keep things a little bit organized. But I will take my folder. Hey, Chad. How's the class going?
Oh, good. I'm breezing through it. I think it's going to be a piece of cake.
Nice. Nice, show off. Well, this is the hard part, so you breeze through that and then we'll teach how to really have at it. Good deal, I'm glad. Good to see
I'm
you.
doing those advanced math courses online already, so
Nice.
the math that have us students about the same.
Oh, good. Good for you. Good seeing you. So when you go, I would take my yellow folder, you know, because there's some things I'm keeping. I'm keeping my signed acknowledgement form, and I'm hanging on to my member copies. So I have my personal folder there, but then I also take a portfolio with a Weichert label on it, and then the other stuff I leave with them. I don't give them anything when I sit down to talk to them. I keep everything and then kind of dole it out as the discussion evolves. So, and this really is the reason they have us there. You know, we can show them and tell them how great we are, but they want to know about the pricing. That's their big deal. So, try to make that non-conversation section, but it isn't working.
You forgot to sigh heavily at the
Yeah,
door.
it
It was Robin, and she might come in here, so I did not. Just saying. We have to keep this train moving. I want to show you what I looked at, and we're just going to look at it together because you know, this training is a lot like computer training. There is no such thing as computer training. You know that, right?
Just gotta do it.
It's pecking around and making mistakes and getting pissed off, and that's what this is going to. So pretend this is like computer training. But I found a wonderful resource that I want to share with you. I shouldn't show you all the things. I like to have fun in the morning. There's no sound, there's no voice. This, and wait till you see this, just read and watch with me. It really is excellent. Oh, that, what the heck?
There it is.
Now you got it.
It's there.
Not for nothing, but do know that you type up in that bar. Some of you may not really know, so
Yeah.
it's good to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't know that.
You need to.
I didn't. Not. I'm gonna say, okay, smarty
I
pants.
think you owe $6 at this point.
Boy.
Not for nothing, this demo is from 2006. So the information, look how long those days on market is. It was a whole different.
What's the average days on market now?
42,
Really?
38, 42.
Really? I didn't realize it was that low.
She's gonna think I'm doing nothing because I'm saying nothing. What the hell? I'm gonna get fired.
It's gonna be like.
And the definition of market absorption is the number of months projected to totally deplete inventory. And in 2006, in Jersey, it was a year.
Yeah.
Well, glad we don't live there. this is quite a range too. Did you see that was a broad? I'm going to email this link to each of you. Because as much as that seemed like the most simple thing that you've ever seen in your life, when you sit down to do it, you're going to click on the link and you're going to spend another 3 minutes watching it again. So I was thrilled when I found that this morning. I was making a bigger deal out of that piece of paper than it was. Yeah. I really was. It just really threw me. And I guess I share that with you too, because as you guys have, I'm sure, equal change, you know, fears at times, that piece of paper for some reason was not smooth in my head. So I was really pleased to find that, because that's all it is. My problem is when I saw that's all it is, that's when I printed out my stuff and I said, guess what? That's all it is. Okay, well, we're doing this because our clients need more education. And we need an easy way to tell them price, not giving them 1/10 of the information we normally do. So one day we will be teaching Weichert how to upgrade. In the meantime, we're just glad to have the tools they gave us. It's all good. So with that said then, hopefully you can see how to integrate the most important piece, you know, being the price, by making sure that you have these 3 tools in place: the price trend analysis, the Weichert Realtors net sheet, and then the trend sheets. Because we can't not educate our client. Everyone agree?
I agree.
You comfortable with that?
Absolutely.
Good, good. I also am wondering, how the absorption rate discussion would be impactful to my client. I guess, first of all, you have to make sure that you're comfortable with explaining absorption rate. Most people don't care how long the home market would take to be sold. They just want to know how long it's going to take to sell their house.
Right.
So,
well, but then how they're pricing it, that's where you can reflect on that.
Yes.
How they're pricing it is going to make a difference on how long it's going to last on the market.
the other thing I love about this is nobody else has it.
Right.
And so as we're separating ourselves, you know, somebody else might come in with a nice CMA with a couple of the 3-ups or whatever, but nobody's going to be looking at the market and crunching it in this fashion. So it's worth that extra time. And remember, this whole time you're also becoming an expert. You're really going to know your stuff because you spent that little extra time beyond what we ever did, making sure you had it nailed. So I think it's really a great addition to what we've been doing, but I wanted you to know that we just need to stick to who we are too. Make sense? So I think in yesterday, we ended up were we going through the portfolio still? Oh, I know. We were in number 8, and we were on to like page 18, I think, around there. In page 19 we had done, because we had talked about expanding that page too. Judith, have you done one of the doors presentations yet?
Yeah, you were on 821. I wrote a note to start
Great.
there.
Super. Hello.
Good thing you're the assistant.
How are you? We already did the hard part. You're just in time.
Good. I love your top.
Yes.
Very
Your head's going to be in the way.
Here it